Welcome to part 5 of my Sexual Taboo series. So today we're going to discuss spirituality versus sexuality. So you can be spiritual and sexual in Islam. Islam offers and promotes both of these elements within us. Now, it's an empowering and heartwarming experience to be able to balance both of these elements that have been given to us by Allah. It's a beautiful human experience. So let's talk about the silent war in many Muslim women that they're fighting inside with this. The conflict between spirituality and sexuality. Because a lot of us in our cultures are taught to be pious. We must suppress and silence our desires. That a woman who is close to Allah must be modest. Yes, but also emotionally flat, sexually muted, and almost disconnected from her body. So she's just like a robot. But here's what no one tells you. Islam never asked you to choose between your soul and sensuality. We've been given all these things for a purpose, and we need to understand the reason behind that. So Islam embraces the whole woman. Allah created you with a ruh, a jism, so a soul and a body. He knows your desires because he's the one who placed them within you, and he's all divine. So how would he get that wrong? And Allah made intimacy halal within marriage as a placement of reward, connection, and even an act of worship. So our Nabi Kareem used to say, in the intimacy of one of you and your spouses, there is charity, there is sadaqah within that act. This means when you bring love, care, attention and intimacy, you're worshipping in that moment, in the right environment. And that's not shameful, that's incredibly sacred. So we need to ensure that we're removing these false dichotomies that cause real damage in our communities, and we can see the result today. So why are we made to feel like if we express our desire, we're no longer spiritual or somehow dirty? And the answer is cultural fear. So many women are taught a good Muslim woman is quiet, passive, and self-denying, self-sacrificing. But Islam never asked you to erase your femininity. The Sahabiyat, the female Sahabiyat, they were intelligent, they were sensual, they were curious, they were bold, they were talkative, they had multiple different personalities. And they asked questions about sexual pleasure. They negotiated marital rights, they were spiritual, and they embodied these practices with pride and honor. And we've lost that balance, where we've inherited shame instead of the sunnah. So what we need to focus on is the Quran and the focus on love and desire. Now, in Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, verse 187, they are a garment for you and you are a garment for them. Now, this is one of the most intimate, poetic and romantic verses in the Holy Quran. It tells us that a spouse is more than just a partner. They're a protection, they're a comfort, and there's an exclusive closeness that you share. So why would Allah use such language for something that was to be hidden, feared, or to be ashamed of? Sexuality in the right context is spiritual. It's a space for connection, vulnerability, and divine love. So we need to wake up to the wonders and the beauty of this. So how do we reclaim our wholeness? Now, you are not less pious because you're in tune with your body or you have desires. You are not less spiritual because of those things either. You're just a human as Allah manufactured you. You're a whole soul in a whole body, created by a merciful Lord who knows every single part of you and doesn't make any mistakes. So stop shrinking, stop splitting yourself in two and feeling shame for your nature. You can love Allah and be in your home as a feminine, wonderful, sexual woman. You can wear your hijab and honor your sensuality with halal boundaries outside, but that doesn't mean you forget who you are. Hypocrisy and balance, we need to understand the difference within that between our culture and our deen. So share this with a sister if you've ever felt that you've had to choose between your faith and femininity. Give me an example of where you've had to face these challenges, because one thing I've noticed is that women not being in tune with their sensuality and their sexuality is leading to problematic marriages. And we talk a lot about, the male issue, but what we need to realize is that you can't clap with one hand. And by culture suppressing and taking away those natural elements of our human existence, we are actually doing our relationships a huge detriment. And actually we need to come back to our deen, because it is the most divine and it has not shamed us for being sensual beings.